All right, going live here for Tuesday, August 24th, Geopolitic Radio Channel. Okay, so I did my yesterday's broadcast and stuff, talking about progressive movement and Afghanistan. Sorry about the background noise here. And I was blaming the progressive movement and so forth. And I'm here to tell you, folks, that was not wrong. And I have the evidence right here in my hand. The San Francisco Examiner, also known as the San Francisco Medical Examiner. And this is the issue Sunday, August 22nd, just a couple of days ago. Just from a couple of days ago, basically. There's an article here by Taman Ansari. Says someone else's Afghanistan. This is the title. Someone else's Afghanistan. Guns, money, and America's attempt to change the culture. This is not the worst guy on the topic because he knows the topic. He knows more than me. He's written a book on the topic, so that means definitely knows more. And he's been in the country. He's been in their country, so it seems like he's from there. Yeah, he's from there. He's an Afghan American. His book is called Games Without Rules: The Often Interrupted History of Afghanistan. And so in this opening paragraph, he says, here it is. Here's my proof to you, okay? America's 20 years in Afghanistan interrupted an internal story already Okay, I'm back. Okay. So the Wi-Fi system there tried to stop me from talking. Jeez, seriously. Lord help us. I'm willing to bet that was someone trying to interrupt me. I'm just reading from this liberal's article. So I got as far as the comma in the first sentence, and it's the latest of many such interruptions. So this guy views America's intervention there and setting up a government, a democratic government, as being just interruption in their progress, you see. It's in the first sentence. And all pages of the article. Here. I'll try to make the phone see it. It's showing the Taliban. You see? I'll try to make the phone see it right here. It's showing a picture of the Taliban guys on August 20th. It says the subheading of the picture says a Taliban elite unit rolled down the streets of Kabul on August 20th. So this is how. This is just demonstrating how the progressives and the left work in coordination. That's the same day that they enforced a new vaccine mandate for customers in San Francisco. It's August 20th. And here we have a picture of the Taliban on the same day. The left is, and the leaders here are distracting attention. What's going on in the world? You might ask, how does that conspiracy work? Because a lot of us were just brought up in the days of television newscasting. We didn't have email and the internet yet. We didn't have many such things. Well, people, that's how it works. Because we have the internet now, and Facebook and Messenger. People across the world can messenger with each other. So that's how the Taliban has involvement in the U.S. because people can freely message, and I support their human right to do so. They can freely message across the world, and that's just how it works. So anyway, I like this article overall. I'm surprised that just reading the first sentence cuts me off the internet. It's really weird. Well, I guess if we reason through here, the U.S. was so beneficial then. You have people crying at the border once we fully withdraw. Does that paint a clear picture for you? Our help was so beneficial. Some girls crying in distress at the border once we withdraw. We were doing a good thing for them. So this guy in the article, he's talking about the conflict of values and stuff. The conflict of people between urban and rural areas. I get it. There's another shocking sentence in this. He says, over the last 20 years, Kabul, Herat, and the largest northern cities moved forward socially. The rest of the country moved the other way, I fear. I'll stop there in the quote. I don't think he means like social progress. I think he means this in a way that's like more obvious or something. It's hard to explain. Continuing. Especially given the influx of Islamist radicals from outside of the country who met the Western narrative. Quote, democracy, elections, women's rights, secular schooling, but with a counter-narrative of their own, which was more instantly recognizable and resident to most Afghans outside the cities. Home, family, tribe, Islam, Quran, our land, Afghan pride. And so you see, the home values, I got to stop the quote here. The home values and family values of them, the guys he's describing from the rural area, it's not the same as America was when I was growing up. The American pie stuff, church, Bible, friends, family. It's not the same thing. They're in favor of Islam, or what someone called fundamentalist Islam, and what others call radical. But it's holding to the main primary source documents of Islam, etc., in a way we would call fundamentalist, or a way we would call very, very accurate and true. So that's not the same thing as Judeo-Christian values. And so in a cultural relativist lens that many people see through, they're unable to sort the problem out as being the evil that worldview poses to the world. They don't realize that these guys in the Taliban will not stop. This will not stop. It's because that is their heritage, that is their religion, that is their worldview. They believe in setting up a theocratic government run by Sharia law. And in Sharia, by the way, you can execute homosexuals, okay? You can cut off the hands of thieves and stuff. It's not the same thing as Judeo-Christian law. It's harsh treatment. In Islam, like I said yesterday, it's harsh treatment of women, basically. So that's why the Western narrative doesn't meet with them well. But in a cultural relativist lens, you can't sort the matter because you have to respect their religion, basically, and say that that's okay. Well, then how are we supposed to respect the rights of women and children as well? So, and that's the tension in the worldview that I was talking about yesterday. What else can we say here? Let me pause for a second here. What else was there to say? I like the article. I think he's onto some stuff. It's really good to say. You talked a little bit about the education system. I think education could overcome this, whatever, and preaching the gospel. But that's outside of like secular thinking of our government. Our government cannot be a missionary to them. It's the preaching of the gospel that does this. And how is that done? It's not done. We don't preach the gospel by force. Okay, the spread of Islam is by force. The gospel is not preached by force. So the spread of Islam is done that way. But the preaching of the gospel there and education would do the thing necessary because you have a culture in the darkness there. The writer complains about guns and money and America's influence on the culture. Well, guns have a proper use, and so does money. Okay, it's not that money is always bad. It's how you're using your money and people's attitude and people's thinking about money, which can be evil. Same thing with guns. So I admit it's a terrible problem. It looks really, really bad. A lot of the stuff he says here is just going to be like finding a lot of people's noodle into a mat, basically. So anyway, so nice talking with people this morning, and